Methodologies are really important things. They provide a framework that you can work inside of so that you've got a high level understanding of what you're trying to accomplish and how you're going to go about accomplishing it. So, when it comes to penetration testing, there are a number of methodologies that you can use. I'm at owasp.org here. This is a page that just has a list of some of the penetration testing methodologies that you could look at were you interested in seeing the various methodologies that were out there. The penetration testing execution standard is a 7 phase methodology that involves pre engagement interactions, intelligence gathering, threat modeling, vulnerability analysis, exploitation, post exploitation, and reporting. There's also the PCI penetration testing guide that comes out of the data security standard. So there are components associated with doing PCI based testing because penetration testing is one of the requirements from the data security standard from the payment card industry. Now you can see a different penetration testing framework here that's much more involved. And this may have a number of categories that are just not relevant to some of the testing that you're going to be doing. So, for example, AS400, not everybody is going to have a mainframe or a mini computer. So, you may not be doing things like AS400. They may not have Citrix, for example. So that's another category that may just not apply at all. And that's one of the things about a methodology as opposed to a process or a procedure. Methodology, as I mentioned earlier, is really high level guidance. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's a set of steps that you're going to follow every time that you do something. It's really just a set of here's some categories that we're going to be doing some activities in, maybe depending on the particular engagement. So, again, there are a number of penetration testing frameworks that are available, and you can certainly look at the various methodologies that are available. You can compare them, see what one is going to work best for you. For our purposes, we're just going to use a very simple, streamlined methodology where we're going to start with reconnaissance and we're going to move to scanning and then vulnerability scanning. Then we're going to move to exploiting vulnerabilities. We'll look at client side attacks. And then at some point, we'll talk a little bit about reporting as well. Since that's less of something that I can show you hands on, we're not going to spend a lot of time, but there are certainly places that you can look at sample reports and report structures that may be things that you can use as you're doing reporting. Certainly, reporting is a very important component of penetration testing because you need to have a set of artifacts that you can present back to either your employer or the customer in the case that you're doing contract work. You need to have a report at the end, and ideally, the report is going to not only include your findings, but also what they can do about remediating those findings or fixing the holes that you have identified.